Mariners lose 5-0. I keep thinking it's 3-0. Nope, it's 5-0. To fall to 27-24 on the season, and they split the 4-game series with the New York Yankees. Let's look at the scoring plays. Giancarlo Stanton absolutely commits homicide on a baseball, homers to center. They say it went 445. No, that's 500 feet, man. 1-0 at the end of 2, and then Aaron Judge homers to center to make it 2-0 at the end of 3. Gosh, those guys are good. And once again, in a Seattle Mariner game, nothing happens from the 4th to the 6th inning, but the Yankees get 3 in the 7th. Juan Soto singles home Anthony Volpe. Alex Verdugo hits a sacrifice fly to score Soto, and Anthony Rizzo hits a sacrifice fly as well to score that Judge guy. 5-0. Mariners get absolutely nothing offensively. Well, here's the positive. You split this series. And I think we all, let's not be too big of prisoners of the moment. If you told us before the series started that this is how it was going to go down, I think we'd all sign up for it. I think we'd all take it. You end up going 3-4 on the road against the 2 best teams in the American League. It could be a lot worse. Could be a lot better for reasons we'll get into, but it could be a lot worse. Positives. Luis Castillo was not at his best, and he wasn't at his best against Baltimore either, but he battled. Oh, boy. I've talked about this a lot. A lot of times when you say someone battled, what you really mean is they stunk, and you're trying to think of a positive way to say that it could have been much worse. But this was not the case with Castillo. Castillo battled. He did not have anywhere close to his best control nor command, and only allowed the 2 solo homers. He pitched well enough to win today. Absolutely pitched well enough to win today. The fact they were able to get 5 innings with him just struggling to throw strikes, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. I mean, it wasn't him at his best. We expect more from him. But if this is him struggling, the Mariners are doing pretty well. It would have been nice if he would have gotten even a semblance of run support. But overall, I thought Castillo pitched pretty darn well, or effectively. Maybe didn't pitch well. He got the job done. Again, if we want to go the signups thing, like we sign up for the results, you tell me Luis Castillo throws 5 innings of 2-run baseball, sign up. Sign me up. Are there any other positives? Eduardo Bizardo did a nice job. He's 5.87 ERA is a little misleading. I think he's looked better than that. Any other pitching positives or any offensive positives? No. Nope. So let's thank Simply Seattle. They're a big positive. They provide the very best in Seattle sports gear. Good stuff for the Mariners, of course, but there's so much more than that. They're the Kraken, the Seahawks, the Storm, the Supersonics, the Huskies, Cougars. You can find it all at Simply Seattle Tacoma Rainiers. I love this hat. Got it from Simply Seattle. You can find all of their great stuff at simplyseattle.com. And once you find everything you're looking for, please enter code MOLLYWOP15. I want you to save 15% off your order, and I want you to show that you're paying attention to my 2 shows that sponsor that, Mollywop Monday as well as My OY, MOLLYWHOP15. If you can't remember that, there is a nice, easy way to not have to remember it. There's a link in the description to make it very easy for you. Thank you so much, simplyseattle.com. Where do we start? Let's start with the bullpen. Trent Thornton and Gabe Speier both looked really bad. I am extremely concerned about what I've seen from Gabe Speier. He was their best reliever in the month of April, and he's been anything but since. Yikes. And Trent Thornton wasn't good either. He gets out of that jam in his first inning, but he gives up that double, and, high leverage situation. You're still very much in that game. Maybe high leverage isn't. I always struggle with what defines high leverage, right? But you're still in this game. We'll call it that. You're still in this game. And he gives up the double to Soto. He looks mad as a wet hen, stealing a phrase from my good buddy Chris Royal. And my grandma says it now too. But mad as a wet hen coming off that mound. And he should have been. He gave up a double. And then Michael Baumann makes his debut. Check out my video on Bauman. I do like this trade, but to say he was overthrowing is the understatement of understatements. And this happens a lot for guys in their debuts. Now, it's not his major league debut, but debut with a new team, trying to make an impression, and he clearly was overthrowing. Now, he doesn't have great command either, so that's a bad combination. But at least he was able to get out of it without giving up any hits. But 3 of 12 pitches for strikes, that's not good enough. He's going to have to pitch better. He's going to have to pitch better. And, you know, I saw some people criticizing the trade, bringing up that Baltimore DFA'd him. The DFA means nothing. Baltimore, I can reliably tell you, had trade offers for Michael Bauman, and they did what they had to do to get him off the roster in order to get some guys back on. They didn't DFA him because they hate Michael Bauman. They DFA'd him because it was an opportunity to move somebody. Now, their bullpen isn't great, so, you know, the fact they're moving on, I get yada, yada, yada. Michael Bauman is not a savior, but I thought it was a really nice trade for a third-string catcher. Blake Hunt is not that good, guys. I know you look at the Tacoma numbers. Blake Hunt is not that good. I hope I'm wrong. I root for him. I hope that he has a great career, and this becomes some sort of freezing cold take. I don't think they're in the video medium yet, but they'll find a way. I like the deal. Didn't pitch well today, no doubt about it, but I like the deal. Offensively, they just stunk today. JP Crawford, I know he gets the infield hit and it breaks up the no-hitter. He was awful. It was an awful game. Even Dave Sims, who I think is JP Crawford's biggest fan, and I broke my streak. I did play the game not on mute. I said I was going to when those two were working together. And they were fine today. But he's his biggest fan, and even he had a that's not what you're looking to do type of moment, which is as critical as I believe that man gets. Just being honest with you. Luke Raley was really bad. Canzone was awful. Rojas continues to look not good since right around the Polanco injury. Ty France got on a couple times. Zavala drew a walk. Their patience at the plate, I think, actually was okay today, but the overall results were, to say they were lacking is an understatement. He scored 0 flipping runs. And some credit to Heel. Like, this guy is pitching really well. He has a 2.11 ERA, and he struck out 22 batters over his last 12 innings. He can sling it. But the Mariners just make it too easy for guys. The move that everybody wants to talk about, I'm sure. So Julio Rodriguez hit 6th in this game, and he goes 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, and he had a horrible series against the Yankees, which is disappointing for a lot of reasons. Number one, he's a Seattle Mariner. Number two, he's a player that a lot of people like. I love. I think everybody knows that. And it didn't help you. And it's also disappointing because he looked good in the Baltimore series. He went 5 for 13 and stung some line drives in those games. But there's no question about it. He was bad. I think the decision to move him into the 6th spot felt penal. I felt like it felt like a punishment rather than trying to make the team better. And I have an issue with that. Not because Julio Rodriguez is above any of this. He's not. If you feel like you need to send a message to a player, so be it. But I don't love a penal response here. I don't love that your penal response is hitting this guy below. A guy hitting 202, 301, 293, a guy hitting 184, 287, 340, and a guy hitting 208, 278, 500. That's good. I don't love it. I don't love it. And I don't think it made you a better baseball team. I have a big issue with it. There's no denying that he has to be better. Zero denying. Some of that is on Julio. Some of that is on the roster that you built. Putting an awful lot of pressure on a 23-year-old. Don't know too many 23-year-olds who have carried Major League Baseball teams. Like Trout, but didn't get you there far. I'm just saying. I did not like the decision. I have no problem with Julio hitting lower in the lineup, third, fourth, fifth, middle of the order. I personally still think he's better in the leadoff spot. I've seen a track record of Julio hitting well in the leadoff spot. There's a comfortability, I think, with Julio leading off baseball games. They want JP Crawford in that spot, and it worked really well last year. I don't know. I know people are going to have some takes on it, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably not reading comments today. I love you to death, but probably not a day where you're going to see that old Maya Y heart button today. Honestly, one of the reasons why, I'm going to go enjoy this day. It's a beautiful day out, and I don't want to think about the Mariners right now. Those last two games were icky. Maybe what I'll think about is those first two games against New York, which were awesome. Well, now that I think about it, I'm going to think about 10 innings because, I mean, they stunk on Monday until the 8th inning, but a win is a win. And like I said, I don't care. But I think you did see, unfortunately, over those last two games, how the Seattle Mariners really aren't close to the New York Yankees or the Baltimore Orioles, which is a bummer. The whole point of this is that we're supposed to be competing for a World Series title, right? As Seattle Mariner fans, the team that we love, we want to see them compete for a World Series title. They went 3-4 on the road against really good baseball teams, but do you think they look like a World Series title contender at any point over those 7 games? Tough for me to say yes. Before I close, the Mariners did make a transaction today. They claimed Eduardo Salazar from the Los Angeles Dodgers, designated Sammy Peralta for assignment. Salazar's kind of interesting. He's always had good stuff, but really has struggled with command and control in particular. Like, has issued self-inflicted damage. Came up as a starter for Cincinnati, made the move to the bullpen. It's worth a look. He's better than Sammy Peralta, at least in the long term, I think. So you might as well give it a look, see what you can do, harness the control a little bit. But I don't hate it. It's not a difference maker, but you know, you improved your 40-man roster today, just like I think you improved it on Wednesday after Wednesday's game. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. We are getting so close to 1,500. I really want to hit that mark by the end of May. It's such an arbitrary number, but I just would really, really, really like to hit that number. Maybe I'll go buy. Just kidding. I don't even know how you do that. There's got to be something. I can do some Googling. I'm not going to do it. Especially if you're not going to watch the videos. It's nice to have followers. It doesn't mean anything if they don't hit follow. By the way, I am wearing a Goonie shirt today. My mommy got me that. Please hit like and subscribe. 3-game series against the Nationals, who stink. This is a series you should win. I personally think this is a series you should sweep. Let's look at the pitching matchups just real quick. You got Kirby against Gore. Interesting one. Mackenzie Gore is certainly capable of success. And then you got Logan Gilbert against Trevor Williams, and you got Brian Wu against Mitchell Parker. Parker's looked interesting at times. But this is a series you have to win. And if you win the series, you go 5-5 on this 10-game homestand or road trip. Why is one a stand and one's a trip? Interesting. And why do we call them pickled cucumbers? Or why don't we call them pickled cucumbers? I'm editing this video. Goodbye.